We kick off a month of exploring interactivity as a story disruptor. Video platforms are emerging that now make it possible to add layers of remixable context to finished videos, effectively extending post-production indefinitely. How does this affect the ways we edit and tell stories? In this interactive Vine Vid, editor Joe Botana and I have a pre-game talk about this month's guests and their game-changing content platforms. It started off as kind of this weird little trend on the fringes, but now it's becoming more and more commonplace in terms of how we are consuming media. We're watching a movie, but like we also have our tablet going and our phone going. We're checking something on Wikipedia that we saw in the movie or a documentary we're watching. We're having an IM conversation with someone maybe who has seen the movie, and so we're getting all these kind of layers of context and expansion of what we're seeing. So we thought it would be really cool to explore, new tech out there that somehow is trying to bring these kind of disparate screens, these kind of multi-screens into like one screen. And what we found of more than a few things that are doing this, and one of those is Popcorn Maker, and it's built on the Popcorn.js framework. So this month we're going to be having interviews with Brett Gaylor and Simon Close. Now, I'll let you intro those guys because you know a lot more detail about them than I do, JB.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much more in depth I can get because, I mean, I just know from reading about the technology and just kind of following these guys. I think it'd be interesting to start with Simon. The really interesting thing about Simon is he's a documentary filmmaker who wanted to do or have this enhanced experience along with his documentary. And he thought it'd be really interesting to somehow have this additional content occur while watching his documentary, but as he found, most of that stuff kind of became obtrusive and was on the screen and was sort of distracting to his movie. So he ended up creating this thing called LinkLib, which is really fascinating. And it allows you to add time-sunk links to your content, but is displayed on a second device and not on the screen you're looking at, which is really quite fascinating. So he's going to be here, and he'll be talking about that stuff more, and it's going to be awesome. And then you'd already mentioned Brett Gaylor, who is the director of Mozilla's Popcorn project. And you know about them. You're already using them on your site now for your posts. And again, Brett also from a documentary background. But he directed Riff, a remix manifesto, and it was an award-winning documentary. And I'd be very curious to find out exactly more of how that led to him getting involved with the Mozilla Popcorn Initiative and the Webmaker Initiative that's going on over there at Mozilla. But it's fascinating because it's always, like, even though these technologies are really cool, it's coming from people like us. It's coming from the creative community, not necessarily from the tech. It's from, storytellers who are wanting to push the boundaries and do these different things with the content that they're creating. I think that's really exciting. That's what I'm excited the most about.
Right. Well, and then what's so great is, a lot of creative people aren't necessarily coders, right? We lean more to one side of the brain than the other, the creative side. And so, and what's so great about these tools now is they really abstract the code. You don't have to know how to do that necessarily to create. So that's what was so great about Popcorn Maker is that, even though it's version 1, they spent a lot of time in beta getting that UI very, very user-friendly. And so if you've used an NLE, any of them, even if you've used like iMovie, you would know intuitively how to use this thing. It's really, look, we have a laundry list of things that we'd love for it to do, but it still is great because I just love the fact that it makes my job easier. Check out Ryan Merkley's Popcorn TED Talk because he's going to, put it so succinctly and so elegantly. There's no way you can't come away from that not getting it.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think that video is a really great place to start for somebody who's not familiar with Popcorn at all. Right. It basically explains what it is that it can do, why it's being built, and how video has basically been trapped in a box for a very long time.
I think we have a lot of stuff here to get people pointed in the right direction. Please check it out. Every week we'll have new interviews, part 1 and part 2 with both Brett and Simon. We'll have hacks. We'll have fundamentals and futurism stuff this month. So definitely it's a new Vine this year, and we definitely want people to join us on this kind of new journey here as we try new things. So
check it out.
Check it out.
Peace.
Tune in next week when we talk to Swedish filmmaker Simon Close about his insightful documentary on the Pirate Bay and his interactive distribution platform, LinkLib. See you next week.